Hello, hello. Happy Thursday afternoon. A little bonus edition here on Thursday afternoon. How we doing, Johnny Mo?
Oh man, I'm fired up.
Yeah. Well,
Friday I'm calm. Thursdays I'm fired up. So you get me in
I
rare mood.
I know I had to quickly push the live button. You were going. I'm like, no, let's bring it on here. But anyways, I'm actually out of town tomorrow, so we're gonna jump on now, do a little live action, and get a chance to chat with everybody. So what you been working on, Johnny Mo?
Man, I've been optimizing and working on some optimizing. Yeah.
You're optimizing your optimizations.
I am. Listen, when I first got into this business, right, it was 2003. There wasn't a single person out there in my market that knew how to build a web page,
Mhm.
not in real estate. You know what I mean? Heck, it was only a few years after they didn't understand realtor.com and the agents voted, the brokers voted to sell it. It wasn't NAR.
Right.
NAR, yes, ultimately sold it, but it was the agent council that voted to sell it because they didn't understand it. So what am I doing? Doing something that I preach about and I have preached about. I'm investing into myself and into my brand. I'm taking some time, not taking the phone calls, just chilling out, working on some stuff. That way I can have some web pages that are designed exactly the way I want to do
Yeah.
them, right? But it
Yep.
takes a little bit of time to be able to do that. It takes a little bit of time to sit down and learn it all.
Well, I think the cool part of that too is that we're in a day and age where that technology is a lot more approachable than it used to be. You've got all these tools that allow you to get whether it's Chat GPT or Surfer SEO, like all these tools that allow you to actually you know see the results, have somebody look at it. It gives you like this professional opinion you used to have to spend a fortune on. Now you have the ability to actually kind of run this stuff through, have it looked at, get some suggestions, some feedback to make it better. You don't have, you're not writing these websites in code. I mean, you're going in and literally designing, drag, drop, adding. So it's interesting how far that technology's come, how approachable it is, but yet we still see very few people go and use it.
You're not using code, but I am.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely
you
not
don't
using code.
you don't have to, but I do because because I can. Right? And it's like, listen, you're more of the CFO operations kind of mindset. I'm
Yep.
more of the creative programming systems mindset. That's why we get along well. Um, in your world, there's KPIs,
Hmm.
and let's just call them goals and numbers and all the other KPIs that comes with that. We talk about it nonstop in training and in coaching. Know your numbers,
Yep.
know your KPIs. Well, how can you actually accurately track any ROI if you don't do this kind of work? If you're
Right.
not sitting down to understand the traffic that's being driven to your site through Google Search Console, if you don't aren't sitting there continually looking at what the competition's doing, the competition, I don't look at competition as real estate agents. They're not my competition.
Mhm.
Okay, I've already won in that realm. They're not. I don't look. I don't say this arrogantly. I know what I'm capable of. I'm on to other things now, right? Real estate really allows you the opportunity to open opportunities to other avenues to really truly chase your dream. Um,
Absolutely.
I was a network engineer. I went to school for computer information systems. That's what interests me. So when you dive down into this and you start looking at the traffic analytics and the SEO analytics and finding keywords that you can come in and there's no competition and you know what you Visit Maine's doing or you know what I Love Manchester's doing. It's like, wow, now I'm ranking with them.
Yeah.
Because I don't look at myself and I hope real estate agents, I always say you are the brand, but there's something bigger than you, right? So if you're just going to be Johnny Mo Realtor, that's what you're going to be, Johnny Mo Realtor. But if you
Mhm.
can be something bigger than that and give more, you're going to get more. Period.
Yeah. 100%. And that's why I thought today would be a good chance to kind of talk a little bit about, why have that video, digital, and social strategy. I've had a lot of conversations lately with people that are thinking about, what's next in their business, how to generate leads, how to control their marketplace, and for us, how to dominate your marketplace. How do you be the one that everybody comes to? And I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago who's spending 15 or 18,000 bucks a month on Zillow leads, and they're frustrated because the leads have fallen off, the volume's fallen way off, the
Oh, yeah.
quality's not very good, the conversion is way down. And they're kind of tearing their hair out with, how do I get this back on track? I can't stop spending the money because then I got no leads, but I can't justify continuing to spend that kind of money if that's all I'm going to get for leads. And I made the comment of, well, geez, for 10 or 15% of that money, we could have helped you build out your whole own ecosystem where they're finding you at the same time they're finding Zillow. And now all of a sudden you don't need Zillow. The consumer's coming directly to you. But and that's the one thing I'm finding a lot is that we've become as an industry very reliant upon these third parties to deliver. The lead God will giveth, but in reality, there's steps we can take to have that strategy in place that allows us to create our own, I would say net in terms of capture to get that consumer to find us first.
Yeah. You know, since I almost made this video yesterday, I opted not to. I was the place that I go for my pet food is right next to a Staples. So I was gonna go in the Staples and get the easy button. And then I was gonna go make a label called the magic sauce. And I was gonna make a video say, this is the magic button, or this is the easy button, and this is the magic sauce. Neither of them exist in real estate
Right.
because they don't exist.
Right.
So if you're paying for if you're paying for leads, and what I mean by that is not like a platform that helps you get leads, but something like a Zillow or an RDC where you're exchanging a monthly fee or a cost per lead on that basis. That's the agreement, that's the
Yep.
exchange. Hopefully, we try not to split hairs and we understand that difference. But if it's like paying for electricity. Stop paying for electricity and see how soon it takes to go dark.
Yeah.
Where building your own ecosystem on video, with video, on digital and social media is like having a solar farm for your own private home.
Yep.
You won't ever run out of electricity, right? Matter of fact, you can sell it back and make a little profit.
Mhm.
So people ask me all the time, and I'm very flat up, very straight up. I don't want to work with everybody. I
Right.
really don't. I am not trying to sell a magic sauce or a magic button or any of that stuff. You got to do the work.
Mhm.
The difference with buying leads is you can be lazy and not do the work. You can bypass 80% of the work, right?
Right.
Especially if you're buying Zillow. Those are bottom of the lead funnels. They've already been nurtured a little bit. They've already gone through
Yep.
some level of process of touches. So now all of a sudden you do what real estate agents truly are: customer service people, salespeople.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, they're just coin operated salespeople. So if you're just a
Right.
coin operated salesperson, you're going to want that now exchange,
Mhm.
something for something, because you have to stay in perpetual motion. But if you're thinking like an entrepreneur, and that's a very small amount in our industry, truly, then you're going to say, I need to build a long term digital brand strategy or legacy. So my video, so my name, so my article, so my expertise, so my authority, whatever word or all of them all inclusive, lives on.
Yep.
But they don't
Yeah.
want to do that work.
Well, and I think the piece of it too is and I'll from my perspective, video always scared me. I was always afraid of video because I didn't know what I was doing. And what I found is that the technology's gotten better. Um, but honestly, I spent the time to go on YouTube and see what other people were doing. I was watching people like Ken Posick and Kyle Whistle and those guys that were doing this at a really high level, going, okay, how are they doing it? What kind of equipment are they using? What kind of stuff are they doing? What things are they talking about? So I kind of cheated and watched other people. But what I found is, that got me so far. That got me to a certain point where I could at least make stuff. Um, but what was missing was, kind of that structure, that accountability, that the optimization you were just talking about. Like those are the pieces that I don't know them. Um, and I'm no longer nervous about video or worried about video. I'm happy to just sit down and crank out video all day. But I don't have that last piece. So that's where, like, I found the benefit of being around Explore My Town, around you in particular, is that that piece. So I can give you stuff and say, hey, here's a video. Can you do something with it? Hey, how can we optimize this? Do more with it. And that's when things really got better, I would say, in terms of eyeballs on things, people reaching out, and I'll close 3 sides this month alone just on videos I've made. And honestly, some of the videos weren't even very good, but it didn't matter because people saw me. They saw that I was out there, they saw what I could do, they saw my expertise and said, "Oh, you're the kind of person I need to work with. Can you work with me?"
Yeah.
And sure, but it was literally I had to get started. And then as the quality's gotten better and I've gotten better at it, it just continues to the results get better. I continue to get more views, more people interacting, more people reaching out. But you have to get started. You can't get to the end result if you don't get started.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this: doing videos for social media is only the beginning. That's freshman year. Okay,
Oh yeah,
and this is the part
basic.
that's infuriating for me. Is people like, oh, I'm going to do my own. I'm going to do my own social media. Go ahead, because you're a social media expert.
Right.
I'm not a social media expert. I hire people.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm not even saying I am. I hire people to do my ads. When I do them, they're all messed up. But
Yep.
when other people do them, they're streamlined, they work and everything else like that. But that's delegation. That's delegation. I was taught by Michael Gerber about delegation. He wrote the E Myth. I'm not going to listen to anybody in our real estate industry over Michael Gerber about this. Nobody.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a small handful of people that I would listen to. 3, maybe 5.
Mhm.
Michael Gerber said you have to learn delegation. Delegation is freedom. Delegation is truly trust.
Yep.
Abdication is not trust. You actually really don't trust yourself. So you're trusting anybody else, and you don't trust
Right.
yourself because you don't know.
Mhm.
You just don't know how to do it. You don't know how to run a business. You don't know how to operate a business, and you're just frantic. I don't care if you sold $30 million in homes last year. That doesn't make you a good business person. It makes you a good salesperson.
Yeah, and it's common in this industry. You find a lot of agents that are really good agents, really good producers, and then you look behind the curtain and the business is a wreck.
Mhm.
Because and the
All
same
the
is true
time.
for contractors. You didn't get into this business to be the marketer and the bookkeeper and the admin. You got in this business because you're really good at selling real estate or building houses or plumbing. And we see that a lot in those industries. I spend a lot of time with those people trying to help them get things back in line, create structure, create visibility and reporting, so they even know what's going on. But it's very common to find that you have a very dedicated or very specific set of skills. Use those. But to your point, go find the people that fill in the blanks so the other stuff isn't a complete and utter train wreck.
So here's the deal, right? Real estate agents, every day I see them complaining. Almost every day I do see them
Yeah.
complaining, but almost every day I see them complaining about their fee, right? One way or another, their fee. They're complaining about their fee, but I'm worth my fee,
Mhm.
right? So why are you running your business like a FISBO, right?
No.
I don't edit my videos.
No.
Okay. I don't write my blogs. I mean, I write the framework to the blogs and I write key parts to the blog and
Yep.
stuff like that, but the team handles that now. Right. I don't post the blog. I don't do all these things. They do that. I go to YouTube to look at the analytics. That's all I do. And I upload my shorts. I do my part. I upload my shorts from my phone. Okay.
Yep.
But they handle everything else. Why? Because I'm not that expert. I'm not running my business like a FISBO. I could do all of these things,
Mhm.
but real estate agents are really, and I feel like this is, again, you got me raw. And if I sound angry or offensive, I'm not. This is just the way that I talk, man. Right? I got a lot to push up through these lungs that have been abused for 51 years, and it gets caught right here. So I talk with a rasp. But stop treating your business like you're a damn FISBO.
Yep.
Okay? Yeah, you can listen, you should know how to edit. I'm an advocate for it.
Sure.
You should know how to write blogs. I'm an advocate for it. You should know how to do every aspect of your business. But does that mean that you have to execute at every aspect of your business? No, your job is just similar to my job. Your job's to provide the vision of where it
Right.
is you want to go and lead generate and be on appointments. That's your job. So anything else not with inside of that is taken away
Mm.
from what you should be doing. And don't try to get coy with me. This is the best part about being awake and loud. Don't try to get coy with me. Yeah, I know you're doing your website or you're doing this or making the perfect form or this or that. And then you're going to try to box that in with lead generation. Listen, I'm not the IRS. That's not a write off. That's not lead generation. That's content creation, which is important too.
It is.
But do that at 7 o'clock at night when Tucker Carlson's not on the air anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to skip right past that one. But anyways,
It's
um,
pretty funny though.
it is pretty funny. I like that. So, but I think the point is that I think a lot of people look at video, digital, social. I think they know they need to be there. I think they realize that's how all their competition's finding business. That's how Zillow is finding its business. Um, Everybody around you is doing this.
Huh.
So why aren't you in your marketplace being that super connector? You know, the 7 levels of communication. If you've never read the 7 levels of communication, stop what you're doing and go download that book. Because ultimately, when you look at your top producers and you look at your top teams, the thing they all have in common is they've got this massive network and database of people. Well, you don't build that overnight. And we all struggle with, well, how do I farm this and how do I get in touch with all these people? You don't get in touch with all those people. You could cold call all day, every day, and you won't get in touch with all those people. But when you create that community focused content, distribute it appropriately, optimize it, and drive traffic to it, people begin to come to you. Now you're not chasing the business. Now you're into this attraction marketing model where you're pulling people towards you. Some people are going to see your videos and go, "Nah, I don't like that person." Great. You don't want to work with them anyways. But you want a mechanism where you can casually and comfortably show people who you are, what you can do, and get them to follow along and opt in versus constantly chase that next person, which maybe some people like that. But if you're always chasing, you never get off the treadmill. When you begin
Never.
attracting and you build this big network and this big database, now all of a sudden your business, you get this base layer of business that keeps coming back. And you're not worried about where you're going to find your first 20 deals every year, or 50 or 100 or 200 deals a year. You know you're going to get that from the network and database you built.
You're 100% right. And when you can take that, I used to train this thing called the lead, what I call it, the lead generation quadrant. And all business comes from one of four places. Now, there are many subcategories to these places, but it was some form of phone call,
Hmm?
cold call, FISBO, expired, even past client can be lumped in there, or networking, which was networking, sphere of influence, BNI, those kind of
Yep.
things. Then it was online, which could be anything online, social media, that the other thing, and all the paid portals or whatever you do. And then finally, it would be any kind of traditional stuff like postcards, letters, mailers, billboards, right? Those kind of things. The real estate magazine,
Mhm.
whatever. Things that just aren't super, super. I don't want to say relative these days because some of them still are, but
Sure.
just not uh, as well utilized, and some of them are antiquated. So my goal was always to take my network and bring it online,
Mhm.
and take the people that I meet online and bring them offline. That's all I focused on, right? That's all I will focus on now. I don't. You can't have it all,
Right.
so you might as well get the pieces that you want, right? So you can't have it all, so get the pieces that you want because that is your choice. So okay, I'm going to make videos. I'm not a very good person to network with. I don't like it. Okay, I admit this loudly, I admit this freely. I used to love it, I still advocate for it. I network differently now. It's more one-on-one and intentional than going into a room. I never did like that where I didn't know anybody. Hi, Johnny Mo. Right now, I never did like that. Even when I was 19 years old, and my mother forced me to go to one of these BNI, and I had to go in with a
Mhm.
lead, and I had to go to like two different groups in a week, and I brought the same lead and the same guy that I knew was at both of them. Right? I don't operate that way.
Yeah.
But when I can bring my relationships offline, my offline relationships, and bring them online, and take my online relationships and bring them offline, that to me is where the power really is. And that's what I focus on. And that's what I built. Infinite amount of business from the people you know, infinite amount of business from the people you don't. Bring them together.
Yep. Yeah. And the irony of it is that, I'll close 3 sides of business this month from videos, and 2 of the 3 they had an agent. They had somebody they've used in the past.
Huh.
But they saw my stuff, liked me, reached out to me. We started the conversation, and they decided they wanted to work with me. They had somebody else. They could have easily just picked up the phone and called who they used last time, but they didn't. And I'll never forget the comment you made at our event in October. It was basically along the lines of, "If you're not doing this and you're not making video, then your clients are watching mine." So those clients, those past clients of somebody else, are now beginning to build a relationship with you online that's causing them to follow along and engage, that may cause them to pick up the phone or opt in for more information. And now all of a sudden, boom, they're your client, all because you've created this platform and this ecosystem to be in front of the consumer when they want you to be in front of them. And most agents close the deal, shake hands, and never communicate with that person again. So there are so many people out there that are looking, or thinking or researching a move, who probably do have an agent. But if they find your stuff and you help them and you show them the way and you show them your expertise, they are more likely, because they built that relationship with you online, to reach out to you than to reach out to the person they used last time.
Yeah,
And it just puts you
100%.
so much farther up the funnel in terms of the process.
It's that parrot. They might not have known that they had a choice when they worked with the agent before.
Sure.
They may have called on it, just like they called you. They might never call you again. They might say, this guy's, I don't like this guy for
Sure.
whatever reason, right? Damn halitosis, this guy. They might not call you again, right? Just like they didn't call the other guy
Sure.
or gal, other person. So that's why you just proved the whole point. It's the whole point why you need to stay relevant, because you
Right.
continually always need this influx of new fish coming in. Now I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. The greatest thing that NAR does, in my opinion, is the generational trends report, and
Yep.
they say 67 to 74% of your business comes through your sphere of influence, somebody you know, blah blah blah, all that other stuff. Okay, but it still is relevant if you're not doing a good job staying in touch with those people, if you didn't provide that initial value. Because if you look at some of the other statistics throughout that report, number of agents that the person talked to and before making a decision, one, right? So
Usually.
if you're not in position to be the one, there's no guarantee Aunt Sally's going to call you. Your past client Tina's going to call you. There's no guarantee. You just proved it. You just proved it.
Right.
Because 2 out of 3 people previously had an agent previously.
Yep. Yep. And because they found me and saw my stuff and built that relationship online with me, they called me. Maybe next time they won't, but in reality, I only got that call, I only got that opt-in because I had put myself in a place where they were likely to find me. If I hadn't done that, I never would have gotten that phone call, never would have gotten that opportunity, because I would have had no reason to communicate with these people. They were not in my existing network, not in my existing database, not even necessarily in an area that I'm really super active in. But because of how they found me, and the other part of it too is that, I'm in a market where we do have a heavy second home and vacation community. So these people, in some cases, aren't even here. They don't live anywhere near here. They're driving here from hours away or flying here from another part of the country for vacations and to visit. I don't know who in, Massachusetts is thinking about buying a house in Maine, but if I create video that they're likely to find when they're searching where to buy a vacation house in Maine, or where to find commercial property in Maine, or how to invest in Maine, if I create videos that are likely to get me on the list for those results, they're going to run into me. They're going to find me whether they want to or not.
Sure are. Listen, I want to go back to that phone call that you got. Not the one we were on live. The 2 out of 3 people calling you.
Yep.
It's as simple as this. There's no loyalty in the world. There's none. People are opportunists. There's
Yep.
some. There's some loyalty, but not a whole lot when you're dealing with customers, because that's what they are. After they close, they're no longer clients. They're your customer
Yep.
or past client. Um, you had what they wanted
Hmm.
at that moment,
Yep.
plain and simple. Why did Zillow take off? Because they had what the consumer wanted at that moment, which was, in my opinion, my humble opinion only, anonymous information to real estate.
Mm.
Wait a minute. Anonymous access to real estate information.
Yes.
That sounds better. Anonymous access to real estate information, because
Mhm.
every agent then, just like the majority of them now, all force registration,
Oh yeah.
right? And I get it. You don't want people going in there, but I also don't want Tom54 at AOL.com, 603-867-5309 in my system either.
Yeah.
I would rather have a whole bunch of people floating around looking, and when they're ready for something, they say, "Hey, listen, we want this," versus a whole bunch of people that I'm driving to my website because I put out a great blog or something else like that, and I'm like,
Yep.
done, right? No, I don't want that. I
Well, and
might do
that's
that on my real estate pages, but not
sure.
on all my other pages, right? I might let you look at 5 or 6 properties and then go for the gentle hook, right?
Yep.
But man, I have produced more with open access than I have with restricted access. I can promise you that.
Yep. And I think that's a big distinguishing characteristic there is that I saw somebody in a Facebook group the other day mention the fact they've got a database of 10,000 people. And of that, about half of them they've never been able to get in contact with. Well, for obvious reasons. When you force registration, you give people one of two options either bail, I guess one of three options. They either close out and they're gone. And if you look at the industry metrics, there's a lot of people that drop off the page as soon as they get asked for their information. So
Big
option
bounce.
number one is they just close window gone. Option number two is they give you fake information because they want the information on the other side of that wall, but they don't want you to contact them. So if you've ever had Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or, you know, name any random name that's come through your database with a bogus phone number, that's exactly what they did. They wanted the info, they didn't want to give their contact information away.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third option is you get people that actually give you their contact information, but that's a very small percentage that truly give you good information because they are willing to. In what we're doing here, you're not asking for that information. So they feel fine just cruising around your website, watching more videos, engaging with you, interacting with you. And then they'll reach a point where they're like, "Oh, well, then you offer them a little call to action. How about a newsletter? How about I got a special series on this. Click this link to find that out." Like, or this new blog or whatever. You've brought them in, you've created that trust, you've created that expertise, you've created that relationship. And now when you drop that call to action out there of, "Hey, check this out," and the thing pops up and goes, "Oh, name and phone number." They're like, "Sure." Boom, boom, boom. There it is. I want to see what you got on the other side of this wall, because they know that you're not just in it trying to squeeze them. You are legitimately um, offering value and providing them something for it.
Yeah. I said this a couple weeks ago to somebody, but approaching it the way that I approach it, the way that you're approaching it, the way, because you're different. You're listen. There's no right way.
There's
This is what
not.
I want everybody. I'm not saying Johnny Mo's way is the right way. Might not work for you, and that's okay, right?
Yep.
Heck, I had this conversation with my sister this morning, who is high up at Texas Instruments in the HR department. And yeah, I said, listen, uh, you know the Myers Briggs studies
Oh yeah.
and the DISC assessments. I said, there's multiple ways to run this real estate business. None of them right, none of them wrong. Well, there are wrong ones by not doing it, by not understanding, by not seeking to understand. But what works for you might not work for me. I'm more of a foodie. I don't mind getting caught stuffing my face and, making those silly things and,
Yep.
travel around doing that. More of a network person. It's going to be, I don't want to say like slower pace, but more reserved, and it's going to be more intentional. It's
Yep.
going to be less frequent because I got to eat 8 times a day apparently.
Yeah.
So I got to go make content, and I got a drone that I hit with my finger and messed up my finger and hit 2 trees with it, so it's off to the drone hospital. But anyways, the risks of the jobs. Thank God
Yeah.
I got workman's comp. But there's no wrong way except for not doing it.
Right.
Okay, so there's no wrong way. So the way that I focus on things is going to be a little bit different than you focus on things, and
Mhm.
that's okay. The process is the same,
Exactly.
and the process don't work unless you do some work yourself.
Yep.
Right? But when I can put out something that is all about the community, all about hotel, all about food or all about barbecue. You're all about small business and networking and those kind of things and that advocacy and the higher level news and business news. You're going to attract your people, right? You're going to attract your people, and that's going to be much more enjoyable, but it gives you purpose. It gives you
Right.
content to create and ideas to create to keep the people that you're attracting engaged. Now, when I said in the very beginning that putting videos on social media was just the beginning, I
Mhm.
100% mean that. If you're only making videos to put on social media, man, my hat's off to you.
Yep.
That will get you so far.
Right.
What's more powerful than Facebook is Google.
Right.
Google's the most powerful thing out there. Well, Google and YouTube. So
Yeah.
if you're not optimizing and working to optimize and then taking that digital asset that Google loves so much called your website and making it a desirable place to land, then you're missing 80% of the fight. Father, you ever
Right.
see Gladiator? Father,
Yeah.
have I missed a battle? Son, you have missed a war. You know what I
Yep.
mean? The war is on Google. That's where you should be spending the majority of your time. So if you're just making videos for Facebook, you're missing the lion's share.
Yeah. And I put a video out a little while ago, maybe a couple of weeks now, that basically saying along the lines of, you know, do you exist? Are you where the consumer is looking? Because what we're finding, and we've done this with agents around the country that are in some cases that are brand new to a market or in a difficult market or through a shifting market who have had great success generating leads off this platform is if you are where the customer is searching, when the customer begins or the consumer begins searching for that area, where to live, where they want to be, when they start doing their due diligence, if you keep popping up, you've got a very high likelihood of capturing them long before somebody else does. If you're not there, then you just kind of go into that same area every other agent does, which is the consumer doesn't know you're there unless they come across you directly somehow. But by consistently putting yourself out there, putting yourself in front of there and being, effectively being in the road so the traffic sees you, that's when you start to capture these people early on. That's when you get the chance before another agent gets to them. If you're tired of competing for the same lead with 5 other agents or going to a listing appointment and having 3 other agents that are also scheduled to go, if you're tired of being just one of many, then this is the strategy that helps you separate. This is the strategy that makes you independent, makes you stand out from the crowd, makes you stand out in the marketplace so you're not competing for absolutely everything anymore.
It is. And it allows you. Let's just get real for a minute. 1.56 million real estate agents, realtors.
Mm,
There's about close to 3 million licensed real estate professionals, all looking for, hey, who do you all use for postcards? I'm going to send postcards out. I've been there too. If you're not going to do it consistently, it ain't going to work. Save your money. If you don't have a call to action, if you're not going to canvass the neighborhood, cold calling, door knocking, if you're not going to call, you might get a few sporadic results.
sure.
I'm 100% convinced that most real estate agents don't even know what the hell they want. They just have you making a few sales, right? Um, who's got the? Where can I got $3,000 a month. Where's the best place to buy leads? Shit. If I could close deals and if I could give $3,000 to you, know that I'm going to close 5, I would have every territory around the country,
Right.
right? It sounds like a pretty good ROI. It doesn't exist.
Right.
It doesn't exist. The only thing that really truly exists is you doing the work. So again, if you stop paying for the leads stop, your business drops,
Mhm.
right? If you don't have some other system, at least building a digital legacy and networking, you're building something that's tangible that truly works for you 24/7. Is there
Mhm.
work involved? Yeah. Is there cost involved? Yeah. Is there learning a new skill or being uncomfortable? Yeah.
Mhm.
But don't tell me it don't work. Because it
No, I'm
does work. Because I see it working every day for dozens of
yeah,
agents,
and I'm getting calls off of old videos, like, these
right?
things, they're out there forever.
The reel that you did walking down the street, that ain't gonna that's not gonna have much of a shelf life,
Right.
right? But if that walking down the street had a intentional message that was put to a blog, and the blog was put to a newsletter, or the blog was then optimized, it lives on.
It does.
Because what's going to happen with that video on social media is, as it's going to get its views, and as soon as it starts to do this, it's gone.
Yep.
It's gone.
Yeah. It
Right?
gets buried.
Because there's billions of them a day.
Yep. Yeah.
So
100%.
if you want to stand out, it's not. It is as simple as click and record, right? That's the beginning. That's the freshman level. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that you should master, in my opinion.
Agreed. Agreed. So, all right, Johnny Mo, we got to start to wrap this up. It's a shorter edition on a Thursday afternoon, but just want to recap on this real quick. So, when we talk video digital social strategy, we are talking about utilizing the power of video and having a strategy to actually optimize and distribute it so people find you, not just creating stuff and throwing it out there. We are talking about having an actual strategy and a plan and the support where you can actually create good content that gets distributed properly, that gets optimized so people find it. What that allows you to do is it allows you to show up in things like Google results. It allows you to show up on YouTube results. So when the consumer is doing research about where they want to live next or where they're going to move to or anything they want to know about the area, the goal is you want your videos to pop up on that first page of those results. So rather than clicking on Zillow or rather than clicking on the local newspaper, they go, "Oh, what's this person doing?" They click on your YouTube page, your website, whatever it might be, and then they get pulled into your ecosystem, begin engaging with you, and they build that relationship online with you that you don't even know they're building until they're ready to reach out. They raise their hand and they want to do something. If you're waiting for Zillow to push you leads, then you're forever going to pay Zillow too much for the leads that you get, and you're at the mercy of their system and you're at the mercy of the market. If you have your own ecosystem that is attracting people in, drawing in potential clients, keeping them engaged, removing the friction of that process, you will be building that trust all along that then gives them the reason to reach out and raise their hand and say, "I'm ready to do something and I want it to be with you."
Yeah, I want that too. I thought of two things while you were talking. Hopefully, I remember both of them, but the first one is going to be this. Um, I'm not particularly motivated to cold call.
No.
Okay. I'm not particularly motivated to follow up with you 13 times. I am motivated, however, if you call me, just like when I need an attorney, I can call my attorney.
Mhm.
He's going to say, well, what do you got going on? Well, I can work with you on that. Or I'm going to refer you to so and so in the office because that's his specialty or her specialty. That's how I want to work.
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to chase anybody. That you want to do that, go ahead. You can make 3 times the amount of money that I ever will. But I'm going to sit here drinking coffee a lot more than you.
Yeah.
So that's point one. Point two, on the same concept as this, is if you're paying for leads, right? Again, I think there's a third time I'll say this, and you stop paying. I don't mean to repeat myself. I'm acknowledging it. And you stop paying, they stop.
Mhm.
But if you build this particular ecosystem and you get good at creating content, if you don't like video, then write. If you don't like writing, then make video. If you don't like either, you can still do it. I got dozens of ways to make video
Yep.
without you being on it. So my drone series is going through the roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing
And I'm not
results.
on it. It's 15, 18 seconds of a drone. Where am I? You know what I
Yep.
mean?
People love
Where
them.
am I in Maine? Where am I in New Hampshire? So there's dozens of ways to make video without actually being on video. That's a thing people need to understand. But if you're not making it, your clients are watching my video. There's a me in every market.
Mhm.
Okay. The only difference between me and anybody else is I don't want to be, I'm thinking bigger than just me. I'm building an ecosystem. This is just who I am. I built an ecosystem. I have teams in place. You can submit you can get the same services that I'm getting. I did this to help more people. Why? That's leverage. It's building a business. That's what building a business looks like.
Yep.
At the same time, I'm going to pay 20 or 30 referrals a year 40, 50 referrals a year. Depends on how much I want to work,
Yeah.
right?
Retire on deferrals, right?
While I'm sitting in Belize, my man. Okay, so if you're not building that ecosystem, you all want an exit strategy? Here's your exit strategy. Sell a lot of houses and save the money, invest the money how wisely accordingly. Harrison can definitely help you with that, right? Um, the other way would be have a rich spouse
Mm.
or a good life insurance policy, and they go first. Um, or you want the exit strategy, you could join an MLM, right? Any one of the MLM companies. Keller Williams ones too. My license at Keller Williams, I'm calling them an MLM, right? Great coaching training company though. But
Yep.
that's a new rave in real estate is rev share, profit share, those kind stock, all those kind of things. Join one of them and build a downline, or build your own ecosystem. Listen, don't even listen to me. Listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, the most popular, if not the most, with top three most popular and powerful and successful digital creators out there.
Yep.
Listen to him. He says you need to think of yourself as a media company, not just a real estate company. Because as this content continues to live on and I can run ads, or I can sit there in Belize on the deck drinking my coffee and say, oh, I wrote an article about moving to Maine. Take a look at this. Bink.
Yep.
And because I get a $10 an ad a day running for retargeting of anybody that lands on my website, they get to start seeing all my other articles that I have running.
Right.
My ads for homes.
They get sucked
Search.
right into the ecosystem.
They get sucked right into the funnel. So go ahead and don't do it. Doesn't hurt me, it hurts you, right? But it would behoove anybody. And I want to say this too, don't be a FISBO. You can learn everything I did, because guess what? I came into this earth knowing nothing.
Mhm.
So at some point I learned these things, and I'm not even good at them. I have a mentor in SEO, right? I
Yes.
have a mentor in video and in other places, right? I have mentors. You should have somebody too.
Mhm.
I don't pretend to know everything. I just pretend to know how to do it my way, in a way that works, in a way that this is our focus. I ain't trying to make anybody a YouTube star. I ain't trying to make anybody get, think, hey, you're going to get 10,000 leads. That's not it at all. Going to give you the framework, the tools, the technology, and the things that have worked, not just for me, but dozens of others. That's it. That's all I do. You got to do the work. Too often, we have people coming into the real estate world and even into our ecosystem that complain that it doesn't work. And when I look up how many videos they did, it's no wonder.
Right.
It's no wonder, because I watched somebody go from nothing to 10 million in a market where the average price is 200,000, and that person is happier than a pig
Yep.
in mud. And it continues to come, and it continues to be easy. This during a pandemic. So don't tell me it doesn't work. The only way it doesn't work is if you don't,
Right. Yep.
right?
100%.
But you should be doing it one way or another, even if it's just writing blogs, even if it's just writing video or creating videos, but you bring them all together and you optimize them, and it's a whole nother ball game. You're now creating something of value that you can deliver to the public. And you had mentioned people reach out to you. Those are the lurkers. 1990 rule. You can all look it up. You can all Google it. I didn't create it. 1% of people create content. So if you're not creating content, you're in the majority. Don't worry about it. Don't feel bad.
Mm.
But be the 1%. 1% create content. Now they say this on a national level, right? So let's bring it down to a local level. Everything has layers. So on local level, how many people are in your market? How many people are doing videos? How many people do you see good, well written, articulated blogs or anything from? Minimal.
Yeah. Very little.
Minimal. So 1% of people create content, 9% of people engage, and 90% lurk. Now you got to understand that the lurkers become engagers. Okay? The lurkers become engagers. But if you burn those lurkers out, you don't give them something to watch, you don't give them something to lurk, they're going to fade away.
Yep.
Feed it, man. Feed the algorithm.
Yep. Yeah. Create good stuff. Keep them engaged. Keep them coming back for more. and you'll be all set. So, all right, we got to wrap it up here, Johnny Mo. What's your parting thought for today?
My parting thought is if you're not making videos and they're watching your clients and your potential future, your past clients, your family members, your friends, they're watching your competitions. Do you want that?
Yeah, it's a fair question. Um, for me, it is, for those top producers, for those agents that you always wonder, how is it they've got all this business? The only way in this business to truly build something that is sustainable is you have to be in control of it. You have to be in control of your network, your database, your marketplace, your activities, all those things. And if you've never read the 7 levels of communication, which will show you how to be a master networker and how to control the relationships and dominate your marketplace, go read that book and then go to themediaevolution.com. That's themediaevolution.com to see what we're doing, because it very much models and mimics that scenario of making you the super connector of your community, because that is where, as Johnny Mo mentioned, that's where the referral lives. Referrals live in being that super connector. Referrals live in having those contacts. Referrals live in being able to bring all those people together. Because when you bring all those people together, the law of reciprocity kicks in and they want to help you back. So read the 7 levels of communication, check out what we're up to. You'll see how the two of them go hand in hand. It's an opportunity for you to become that super connector in your community if there isn't one already, so that you can dominate your market and you can get all those referrals.
Yeah, man. Listen, the only way you're gonna get we can't give you a card that says super bad, but I'll have
Yeah,
one made for you that says super connector.
absolutely.
Right? Because you do have to listen. The world is going to get more difficult. Everybody, just okay. Two parting gifts, Harrison. I'm sorry. The the technology, AI, automations, and everything is going to make it is the paradigm shift. The pendulum has left its holder.
Hmm.
Okay, there will be a paradigm shift, and if you don't think so, just look back to how far we've come in real estate and the world and everything since
Yep.
turn of 2000. What do they call those decade centuries?
Millennium,
Millennia.
whatever. One of
Okay,
those.
from 1999 to 2000. Look how
Yeah,
far
decade.
we have come.
Yep.
In 2000, you didn't have this in your hand,
No.
right? You didn't have this laptop on every corner. I mean, they didn't even think that there was going to be a laptop in every home. Now there's
Right.
three, four, five, six multiples.
And the internet was a fad.
It came in a magazine. I'm not talking about today, guys. I'm talking about start thinking about a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road. How long do you anticipate being in real estate?
Yep. Yeah. You've got to play the long game. And you've got to have that long term mindset. So with that, that'll wrap up today. A little Thursday instead of Friday, because I'm not going to be here tomorrow. But if anybody's got any questions, wants to reach out, talk about their business, business in general, investing, video, digital, social, doesn't matter. Reach out to us. We're happy to talk. And until next time, everybody have a great weekend. See you, Johnny Mo.